3, we'll give her a 2. We'll say, Yasmin, it's all you.
It's all you, girlfriend.
Okay. How many of you guys in the last week called a friend up and was like, hey, do you want to go out for lunch? Raise your hand. Now, how many of you guys have Snapchatted a friend or tweeted someone or had a conversation that way? A lot more of you guys. Well, I am here to tell you that you guys might be addicted to social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. And not only do these sites have a lot of negative effects on you, but also you're missing out on the real world. All of my information has come from personal experiences and research that I've done. So first I'm going to tell you about signs that you might be addicted. Then I'm going to tell you different negative effects it has. And then I'm going to explain the benefits of staying away from these. Our generation is out of control and we need to cut back. So, does this ever look like this? Like, has this ever looked like you before? You're just in your own little world, on the internet. Well, Facebook and like Twitter and all these things were made to have everyone like come together and interact, but really it's just causing everyone to feel isolated. You're just in your own little world. So it's time to join the real world. So here are some of the main social networking sites, Facebook and Twitter. You guys obviously know all those. I will admit, I think I am kind of addicted. I remember last spring for Lent, I gave up Facebook and Twitter, and it was pathetic how like bad I wanted to get on. That's like all I thought about. I was so excited for the day that I could finally get on again. So I was like, you know, let's be ridiculous. So, here. Okay, so I have a couple of signs to see if you are addicted for us to do Facebook. So, you're one of the few people who actually use Facebook chat. When something exciting happens, you find yourself thinking about how you could use it as your Facebook update of the hour. You have several Facebook friends that you've never actually met in real life. You have tried to cut back, but you have failed. Facebook stalking is no longer considered sketchy to you. You take pictures for the sole reason of tagging them on Facebook. When someone writes on your wall, you purposely wait a few hours before replying to make it seem like you're not as addicted as you are. You get really upset when people don't post pictures and don't tag you after like a fun event. You regularly have conversations with your best friend about other people's Facebook profiles. So if any of those sound like you, watch out. And according to Darren Robel, a CNBC sports business reporter, here are some clues that you might be addicted to Twitter. You get an adrenaline rush when your tweet comes to exactly 140 characters without any abbreviations. You frequently check your unfollowers just to make sure a notable follower hasn't severed ties. You've unfollowed people who rarely tweet as a way of improving your follower to following ratio.
Oh my God.
You view Facebook as a VCR of social networking sites. After a good tweet, you keep reloading your @mentions, hoping to see a retweet pop up. You save your best spots for Twitter or for tweets, not conversations. And you feel obligated to return someone's call or text because you know they've probably seen you tweeting recently. So if any of these have sounded like you, here are some of the negative effects that social networking might have on you. So first of all, it's bad for your health. According from Ashley Day from Everyday Health, Facebook decreases physical activity, causes depression, triggers eating disorders, and can split up marriage. And obviously, none of those are bad. Or none of those are good. Are good. It also causes conflict. Like over the internet, you can't read people's body language or facial expressions. So it just leads to a ton of like miscommunication, misunderstandings, which causes fights. I'm sure all of you guys love those Twitter fights, but they're out of control. And then also procrastination is a huge one. I'm sure all of you guys, you have like a big assignment, you log onto the laptop, and the first thing you go to is Facebook or Twitter. and it just causes so much, you get nothing done. A study found in the Washington Post was that students who use Facebook on a regular basis were found to have lower grades than students who doesn't. So it really is having a negative impact. And also causes less social interaction. I'm sure all of you guys, have you ever called up a buddy and it's like, hey, you want to hang out? And they're like, sure. And you go over to a friend's house and you just sit there and you're just on your phones, not even talking to them. I know my basketball team's horrible at it. We just sit there on our iPods. It's like, what are we doing? But yeah, I think we should actually like hang out with people instead of just sit there on our phones. It won't go. You're getting And here's a good picture that I saw on just like Facebook, like eating time. Like it just wastes so much time. There's so many different things you could be doing. So I think we really just do need to cut back and do other things. So here's a picture of this old lady trying to figure out how to work a phone, do nothing. Like older people, they aren't as good as with technology. Like this is our generation. Here's a picture of a graph, and it's the use of social networking sites by age. And the 15 to 24-year-olds, 24-year-olds use these social networking sites the most. So like it really is our generation, and so if it's our problem, we need to fix it. So what is the key? See, there is a lot of benefits for staying off or cutting back. First of all, your brain will work better. You'll be more focused. You won't be like distracted every 2 seconds. Go and look at your timeline. You'll find different activities to do. You could go read a book or play different sports instead of just sit there. You'll accomplish so much more. With so much more time, you could be spending doing different things, and you won't be so distracted all the time. And you can spend more time with people you love. So you can hang out with people and find better things to do. So I told you guys some signs if you are addicted, some negative effects that social and networking sites have, and some benefits of staying off. So I really hope you take my advice and try and back off.
I'm gonna do everything.
That's how I used to be with Facebook. I got all these really good quotes to make